a Gemara start.
Go.
We're discussing a Gemara first in Baba Metzia, where Alexander's going to read you a short Mishnah and explain it.
Okay. Omer l'shnayim gazalti le'echad mechem. A Ghana basically says that he tells to two people that he stole from one of them. He stole a mona. He stole $100 or 100 zuz. And he doesn't know from which one of the two he actually stole it from. Or aviv shel echad mehem hivked lo mona. Or a father of one of them deposited him 100 zuz. Ve'ine de eze mechem not lezu mona. And he doesn't.
Nothing lezemona,
Right. So he basically, or one of the fathers gave him $100 to watch, and he doesn't know which one of the fathers. So he doesn't know which one to give it to. So he gives $100 to one of them, and he gives the $100 to the other one.
And the reason is?
And the reason is Mona Shachoy because he admits that he took it from one of them.
End of the Mishnah, the sefer of the Mishnah goes on.
Okay. Shnayim shehipkidu eitzel echad ze mona.
Zemasayim, one.
Zemasayim. Two people that have deposited money by one person. One of them gave him 200. The other one gave him 100. And
nothing lezemona. He gives each one 100.
Right.
But the third 100 he doesn't know who to give it, so it says
Right. So the third, basically, he gives 100 to each one of the two because he knows that both of them have at least 100, and the third 100 he leaves it up until both of them will fight it out, or until Eliyahu will come. Omer, next Mishnah.
No, Omer Rabbi Yossi. Rabbi Yossi argues with the rabbis.
Rabbi Yossi argues. Omer Rabbi Yossi. Im ken, if so, my heapsit shacharomai. What is there to lose?
What is the liar losing?
Right. What is the liar here losing in this case? But Rabbi Yosef says, you know what? We're not going to give a penny to any one of them. Let's just then fight them out, and at least both of them will have something to lose, and hence one of them will
hopefully admit.
Right.
Now, the concluding case is not by money, but by
the kelim, by the utensils. And so by the two kelim, echad yofa mone. One of them is worth $100, but echad yofa elef, and the other one was worth $1,000. Ze omar yofa shali, ze omar yofa shali. Both of them want to claim the one utensil which is worth $1,000. Noten es hakoten leachad mehem. So the rabbis hold. So the rabbis hold that you give the utensil, the smaller utensil, the one which is only worth 100 zuz, to one of them. Umitoch hagodel noten domi koten l'sheni, and you basically you sell the more expensive one, and you also give him $100, and you hold down to the difference. You hold down to the $100.
You're holding on to $900.
To $900 until one of them will admit.
No. Maybe nobody will admit. So
you basically hold it until Eliyahu will come. In other words, until one of them will admit.
Nobody will admit. Why should they admit? That's the problem Rabbi Yossi has.
Right. So the Rabbi Yossi said this is not a fierce scenario. So Omar Rabbi Yossi imkin ma hipsid charami. What does the one with the cheaper utensil have to lose? But no, you should hold down to both of them until Eliyahu will come, because this way no one has anything to lose. And
now if you hold everything till Eliyahu comes, somebody is losing.
Someone is losing.
And the guy will say, "Oh, give me my 100. Maybe it was really only 100 I gave you. Oh, right. It wasn't. Maybe it wasn't. I didn't give you. It wasn't the big dish. I'll be satisfied with taking the small dish."
True.
Okay, so this is a beautiful dialogue in Perek Hagozel. No, in Perek HaMafkid. You read the Mishnah HaMafkid, and now The same thing is recorded in Baba Kama, which a little longer Mishnah. But we're going to try to read the part of Rabbi Tarfon and Rabbi Akiva. Because let's go back to your thing in Hamafkid, and it also talks about Rabbi Tarfon and Rabbi Akiva.
Right.
All right, after the Mishnah, I believe, the Mishnah ends.
Right here. Actually,
Yes. The Mishnah, right after the Gemara asks Gemara expression. Verminhu. I'm going to ask you on this Mishnah. Shnayim.
Shehipidu Eitzel Echad Ze Mona Ze Mosayim. They're asking a question. By the case where when one person owns $100 to one of them and $200 to the other one, Ze Omer Shalim Mosayim, Ze Omer Shalim Mosayim. Both of them say that $200 are mine. Noisin Loze Mona Loze Mona. You give 100 and you give the other 100. And the other 100 you basically leave until the Yoga will come.
Going down the page a little bit, Raminu, and ask in our Mishnah.
And we're going to ask a question on our Mishnah. What happens in the case when one person steals from 5 people?
No, he stole from 1 of 5 people.
One of five people.
Leftovers.
Then he is a man.
Right, and he doesn't know which one of the 5 he actually stole it from.
Ze Omer
Oisi Gozo, Ze Omer Oisi Gozo. So each one of the 5 come out and says, no, you stole it from me.
Basically, Tarfon's comment here is
you put up $100. That's how much.
And you leave it and say, look, you fight it out, you guys.
Right. I stole it from one of them. I didn't steal from 5 of them, so I'm not going to leave $100 to each. I'm just going to leave $100.
So we're leaving you to be Rabbi Tarfon. Let me tell you a little about Rabbi Tarfon. He was a Kohen.
Mm-hmm.
He was a very compassionate person.
Right.
What parasha did we read yesterday?
Vayigash.
Did it talk about a famine?
Yes.
And Palestine, or modern day Israel, often can have a famine.
Right.
It occurred in your time and Rabbi Tarfon's time.
Mm-hmm.
Food was hard to come by. What did he do? He did something very unique. He married, I think, 50 women.
No, 130.
130 women, thank you. That's a lot of weddings. And you probably did all of them. You can collect at least $100 for a wedding. 130 women. And why did he do it?
To get money.
No. Why did he marry them?
To give truma.
Oh, because once you marry a Kohen, you're allowed to eat truma. The price of truma is cheaper than regular wheat, regular bread. If you go to the marketplace, on this section it could be bread selling for $3 a pound, and then he has a sign up truma bread, which is only $1.50 a pound. Which one would you rather buy?
The cheaper one, of course.
But you can only buy it if you're a Kohen.
Mm-hmm.
And the women, once they marry Rabbi Tarfon, would all run over to the cheaper food and be able to buy it. He was a very compassionate person. Now here also he's acting compassionately. He says, you stole from 5 people, just put the money down.
Mm-hmm.
Your adversary is a person called Rabbi Akiva.
Right.
Rabbi Akiva, a great sage. But classically he's called the Baal Tshuva.
Mm-hmm.
He returned because in his youth he despised Talmidei Chachamim. That's what the Gemara says possibly in Nedarim, page 51, and in a few places. He didn't have a love for Torah. Once he became Baal Tshuva, first of all he married a wonderful girl called Rachel, if I remember, very rich girl, and she insisted on him learning, and he did that. But once you become a Baal Tshuva, you become maybe a fanatic. You become very strict. So listen to Rabbi Akiva's retort here.
Give Rabbi Tarfon.
And here's Rabbi Akiva, the next statement. Okay, Rabbi Akiva says, you stole from one of the 5 guys, put down a $100 bill for each of them.
Yep.
Okay, now we're going to contrast that with a Gemara here in Baba Kama. And this is a lengthy Mishnah, and who did the Mishnayos? Who codified the Yehuda HaNasi? Did a fantastic job. and usually he's short and sweet. This Mishnah has around 15 lines to it. It's on page 103. If a guy stole from his friend a Shabbat Pruta. What's your name, sir?
Eric.
Eric. You were davening here. I saw you left a quarter on the table. Oh, a nickel even. A nickel or even a penny. I don't know. My hands were... And I grabbed it. A Shabbat Pruta, okay. And then you give a yell at me and you yell, Eric, what do you yell at me?
It's my penny.
And I do something very foolish. I make a shur and I say, I swear to you it wasn't your penny. So now, not only do I have to worry about returning the penny to you, but a false shvua is a very drastic situation. So first of all, the Mishnah says, Yolichenu achav lamadai. Eric goes on his summer trip to Taiwan, 3,000 miles away, and I call him up and I say, Eric, I know I took a penny from you. And you say, okay, come over to Taiwan and give it back to me. This Mishnah says I have to take the, which airline goes to Taiwan, out there?
Taiwan Air.
That's it.
Okay.
Singapore. Doesn't matter.
And okay, and even if you had a couple of kids here, I'd say, don't you have any family here? Can I give it to the family? And you say, no, you stole it from me. You want it back. I can't give it to the family members either. Now, if it happens to be that there's an active Bezdin, there are maybe 1 or 2 active Bezdins in Brooklyn, and they have this wonderful thing of sometimes they have to give a get to a woman in Taiwan. So so I find out that their sholiach Bezdin is carrying a get to Taiwan. Then I can give that penny to that guy to give it to you. You're happy? You're getting your penny back.
Good enough.
Thank you. Now there are a few scenarios possible because this Mishnah is very encompassing. It says, let's say if the guy dies, then go to the Yoshim. Let's skip a little. Okay, let's skip a lot. Because now we're going to come to... well, we're going to skip a lot of Gemara too. We're going to get to the Chassid. Okay. Masiv Rava. On page Kuf Gimel Amid Beis, Masiv Rava, Ma'aseh b'Chassid Echad Shalakach Mishnei B'nei Adam. The rabbi I heard bought a shofar in Yerushalayim. Can you move over to him? And it was a marketplace. 5 guys were selling shofars. And you went back home and you had a chauffeur, but you didn't pay any of them.
Yes.
And you're stuck now. You can go back to the 5 guys and you say, I owe one of you for a chauffeur. Okay, so here, Rabbi Tafan, you go first. What do you think you should do?
I think you should put it out there and let them fight it out.
But on the stricter viewpoint, and I will tell you, you have to pay. And the Mishnah says something. One guy runs over to you, comes to your house and comes banging away on the door and says, "You didn't pay for the chauffeur," and you say, "I swear I didn't take your chauffeur." And then he thinks for a minute and says, "Maybe I made a false shur." So first of all, I'm Rabbi Akiva and I say, you better pay all 5 of them. Now what do we do with that shvur you made? So the shvur makes you obligated at least for a chomesh and a carbon. But now we have to understand what we do with this story of Ma'aseh b'Chassid Echad. So let's listen to the story. And the story goes on to say, here it is. Masiv Rava. Rava is going to ask a question in this Gemara. Ma'aseh b'Chassid Echad shalakach mishnei b'nei Adam. He only took the shofar from one of 2 sellers. Say those 4 words.
You place it between both of them. You put them
Well, if Rabbi Akiva if he comes before me, I say you have to pay everybody. And so the Gemara asks a very powerful here. When the guy ran over to the rabbi and said, "You took it from me," the rabbi, "Oh, I swear I didn't do it." Would the rabbi ever make a false shvua? Because he's not a modern day rabbi. Rabbi Yehuda ben Baba, Rabbi Yehuda Rabbi Eloi. Whenever it says Chassid Echad, which I think we can do a computer search today, I can take you to a guy who has the Bar Ilan program, which is very. I think I only know 2 people who have that program in Brooklyn. You can do a word search, an expression search throughout the Shas. It can do many, many, many different things, and if you come with me, he'll let me use it if I behave myself. Okay, so the Gemara, but it emphatically says it's one of these 2 guys. Which do you want to be, Rabbi Yehuda ben Baba or Rabbi Yehuda Bar Eloi?
Bar Eloi.
Rabbi Yehuda Bar Eloi, okay.
Okay, because for nothing else, Rabbi Yehuda ben Baba had a tragic end.
Well, no, that's right.
He was, how many spears went through him?
300.
Very good, excellent. That's the man for you. 300 spears went through. What did he do wrong?
But he had, he passed Smicha to.
He passed Smicha to 5 students. And I have the 5 students. Rabbi Yehuda ben Baba, we're proud of you because you continue the tradition of giving Smicha. And
Unfortunately, only one generation. I don't think that after that generation, anyways, it's disappeared maybe, yeah? But I'm not sure.
we can look up the biographies. The students are Rabbi Meir, Rabbi Yehuda, Rabbi Shimon, and Rabbi Eliezer ben Shamua. And Rabbi Avira's Mosif, he gave another smicha to Rav Nehemiah. I think it lasted for a while. I don't know why. I think it did last for a while. But also, Rabbi Yehuda ben Baba did one mistake. Since we have a doctor here, and he knows that Pikuach Nefesh can push away Shabbos. So there's Rabbi Yehuda ben Baba was diagnosed by the doctor. He must have hot milk. What did he do? Where did he get milk from?
From the goat.
So he tried to go to his bed. But there's a rule: you cannot have a behemoth daka, you cannot have behemoths in the Jewish household. So that the Gemara says on Rabbi Yehuda ben Baba, it was the only sin he made. And and the good thing is he continued the smicha, and he continued it because the Roman government said we're going to kill anybody who gives smicha, we're going to give anybody who receives smicha, and we're going to kill the surrounding cities where he did, where we find him. They found Rabbi Yehuda ben Baba was between 2 mountains. He didn't want to be near any city. He gave the smicha, and then they caught him and they pierced him with 300 spears. But Rabbi Yehuda Bar Eloi is a very famous person, and he would never swear falsely. Okay, so we're now showing you the significance of 2 Mishnahs, how they attacked it, how they discuss this, and the strictness of Gezel is something we should consider for a moment. Gezel, it was an instance somebody said, "Can I borrow your pencil?" And an hour later he comes back to me and I say, "You don't have to give it back." And he says, "If I don't give it back to you, I may have to be forced down after 120 years from, because of this thing of not returning your pencil. You take the pencil out from me right now." Point number 1. Then point number 2, center on him, because today I have something special to show you. Let's see if it's still working.
Something very interesting.
Okay, with a little thing like this, you can have, you insert a disc, and the disc here is, let me get it. Before we listen to him, we turn to the menu. In the menu I see on the left hand side, they have in this disc 5 different Gemaras. Saita, Baba Basra, Baba Kama, and Baba Metzia. That would mean probably over 300 pages of Talmud. Since we're doing Baba Kama, I will enter it, and let's see if I get the rabbi to speak. usually speaks.
Tshuva is difficult enough. It's difficult enough when there is a beaten path, when one knows exactly what to do, where to do, and how to do it. It is even more difficult if you're not sure how to do it. That's more or less the situation that we have over here. We have someone who stole money, someone who realizes that he's going to have to face a din v'cheshbon, and no one gets away with a shava bruta that was owned if it wasn't yours. So he wants to do tshuva. He wants to fulfill the mitzvah of hashava. His problem is that he doesn't know from whom he stole. It can be any one of 5 people. Each of these 5 possibilities claim they were the victim. It is possible each of these 5 indeed think they are the victim, or it is possible that they're lying. But whatever the case may be, the one that is doing tshuva, what is he to do? If Tarfon says, do yours, you stole $10, put the $10 down. You stole a mana, put the mana down and leave. You did your share, let these 5 fight it amongst themselves. Rabbi Akiva disagrees. Rabbi Akiva says, Abshi Yeshalim Gezela L'cho Echad Ve'echad. You want to have a takana, you want to have a tikka. There's only one eighth of you to have a kapara, to make sure that the nigzal gets back his money. And if he can be any one of 5 people, Rabbi Akiva says, pay all 5. In our Mishnah we learned a halacha that if someone swears falsely, if I steal money, and I swear falsely, I never stole any money, and then I want to be minded. So there's a special chumrah on this person. There's a special chumrah that he has to follow that person even to madai, and make sure that he pays him back personally. That is learned from the pasuk, la'asha huloi. Our Gemara understood at first that these 2 cases are similar. Rabbi Akiva, who says you have to pay all 5.
Okay, we're pausing for a moment, and we can tell you that the whole Shas is on. We try to pause him anyway. He loves to speak. He is one of the best Magidei Shiurim on Dial Daf. Dial Daf has done this on 60 DVDs, and he gives you the whole Shas. And usually I play this at night next to my bed. So if I turn on page Bays, and I wake up and it's on page Vav, I know I slept 4 hours, or 4.5 hours, good hours. And I try again. So Baruch Hashem, there are shortcuts to learning, and I introduce you to this shortcut. It's under Terry Communications. You can buy it in Borough Park. It's a fantastic investment, and we thank you, and we thank our cameraman Eric, who wants to go back to his vacation land. We thank the Chassid, and we will have more for you next week. Thank you.